It is week 7 in the Big Three here on CBS.
It's the Big Three. Win, go home. Bring the fire. Playoff time, baby.
Joe Johnson with the triple. My goodness.
Oh, Meeks is hot. Nothing but nylon.
Yes, Mike Taylor. Look out. Has he got putting on the moves?
From the Queen City, Charlotte, Spectrum Center, it's week 7 of the Big Three, and we've got the Triplets taking on the Ball Hogs. Here's a look at the schedule here on CBS. We'll begin with the Triplets and the Ball Hogs, and the defending champs, Trilogy, taking on the Ghost Ballers. Let's take a look at the standings. We got 7 teams there at the top of the standings at 4 and 2. Couple of them you're going to see right here on CBS. And then you got 3 more teams at 2 and 4. Keep in mind, 2 more teams are going to be eliminated as we make our march towards the playoffs. Brian Custer alongside Jim Jackson. Hey, this one's going to be good. The Triplets, the Ball Hogs. Ball Hogs, folks, had just 1 win last season. They've tripled that this year and look like they're going to be making the playoffs. Tell me what you're looking forward to.
Well, that I'm smart because I picked them to get to the playoffs this year. Not just because the continuity is a lot better. They were stabilized with Jody Meeks and Leandro Barbosa in the background. If you talk to Rick Barry and say, why are you successful? They're playing basketball the right way, and they're moving the basketball, making it extremely tough to guard on the perimeter.
Well, let's take a look at the rosters. They are brought to you by PNC Bank. Hey, the Triplets, they're led by Joe Johnson. Joe Johnson is a 2-time MVP. And then you heard Jim talk about the Ball Hogs. Jody Meeks is the guy. He's 3rd in the league in scoring. They can fill it up. Let's start with the Triplets, and let's start with ISO Joe.
Well, you know, this is former MVP in the Big Three. Had 18 points last year, 19 on the season, coming off a tough loss, only scoring 33 points. Look for them to rebound, but when Joe gets going early and often, they're tough to stop. The problem with the Triplets that time, they started off slow. Let's see if they can get off to a better, quicker start against this Ball Hogs team. And speaking of Ball Hogs, Jody Meeks is doing a little bit of everything. The last 3 weeks, averaging 20 points, about 6.5, 6.7 rebounds, and about 3.5 assists. Now, he blends well with Leandro Barbosa because they complement each other. Jody can shoot the ball from deep, but he's also capable of putting it on the deck and attacking the rim.
What a job Rick Barry, the Hall of Famer, has done with that Ball Hog squad. Again, they've won just 1 game last season. They've already got 4 wins this season. And when you talk about the Triplets, they got a Hall of Famer as well, Lisa Leslie. In fact, she's already won a Big Three championship. She's with Brian Scalabrine.
Yes, I'm here with Lisa Leslie. Now, let's talk a little bit about last week. No 3-pointers made. Was that a concern going into this week?
It's a huge concern, but you know what? I told our guys, we got to be better. We got to be better on our offense. We got to be better at finishing shots, and when our shots are not falling, getting to the basket. But we also got to be better defensively, communicating. If we're not scoring, we still have to find ways to stop the other team. We got to get to that free throw line.
This Ball Hog team is really good. What is your most concerned about their roster?
Most concerned about the 2 smalls. We know Barbosa, he's the fastest guy, I think, in the league next to Mike Taylor, so we got to really try and slow him down. He loves to finish right, and we got to stay with him and not go for his fakes. Overall, we got to play basketball. We need 2 halves, not 1.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you.
Well, if you're unfamiliar with the Big Three, let's take a look at the rules. You're going to love it. First team to 50 wins. You got to win by 2, though, in the Big Three. And when we hit 25 points, we go right to the half. There is no game clock, but there is a 14-second shot clock, so you got to get it up. And then you go to the free throw line. You shoot 1 free throw for 2 points. And, of course, there's the 4-point shot, something that's brought some excitement to this game. Both teams at 4 and 2. Ball Hogs, Triplets. It's Barbosa. Behind the back pass, and it's a turnover. And Barbosa reaches in on Larry Sanders.
You know, Brian and Scal talking to Lisa Lassie, she says she went back and watched the tape of the Triplets game last week. They only scored 33 points. She thought they played terrible. She said after watching the tape, they really did. It was a lot of shots that they normally make that they miss. So let's keep an eye and see if the ball goes in the basket often early for the Triplets.
Here's Joe Johnson backing down. Juwan Summers gets him up in the air and scores.
If you get at times you forget how big Joe is. At 6'8", about 245 on the block. Not only can he beat you off the dribble right there against Summers, who's about 6'9", he can still post up and be effective.
Summers misses everything with the three. Johnson, the rebound. Here's Jeremy Pargo. Inside Sanders, and he lays it in the paint.
Well, when you shoot an air ball, a lot of times defensively you're not going to be matched up, and you saw the advantage. And Pargo did a great job of kind of coordinating the mismatch inside with Sanders and Barbosa.
Summers drives right down the lane and lays it in. 4-2 our score here early. Again, first team to 25, we go to the half. Pargo will bring it in to Sanders. Sanders working on Barbosa. To Joe Johnson. Johnson spins. Pargo open for three.
And if you're the ball Hogs here with Jeremy, he hits that, but you don't think you want to overreact. You want to force Pargo to stay on the perimeter more so than beat you off the dribble. He is capable, but at the same time, percentage-wise, you would rather have him take that shot while contested.
Meeks will inbound for the ball Hogs. Here's Leandro Barbosa. It's coming off that win over the bivouac. Barbosa missed everything. Sanders dunks it home. 9-2. 7-point lead early for the Triplets. That shot too strong by Summers. Here's Pargo with it. Inside Sanders had position on Barbosa. That's already two on Barbosa. Keep in mind, the third one he's going to have to sit.
Yeah, he has a little bit more activity. I think offensively, body language, energy is a lot different from the Triplets. But also, listen, last week they were up. 27-22, I think it was. But the second half is what Lisa Leslie talked about. We need two halves in order to complete the task at hand. And right now, off to an outstanding start.
Here's Joe Johnson driving. Baseline goes glass. 11-2 our score. Triplets coming off a loss to the Killer Threes, as Jim pointed out, only scored 33 points. Here's Meeks. He reverses it in. 11-4 now. Sanders trying to post up Meeks. Pargo uses that body, gets in the lane. Shot no good. Summers the board. Here's Barbosa. Thought about the three. Meeks open. It's off. Pargo will pull it. Jody Meeks drives the baseline. Barbosa the triple. Missed everything, and Pargo will lay it in.
And those missed shots, if you don't hit the rim, benefit to your opponent.
13-4 our score. ISO Joe in the Triplets, up 9 here in Charlotte.
think outside the box. We know talent. We think outside. And when new sponsors geared towards health, physical, and mental, we got that covered. We got the all stars playing against their legends, battling on the same court. Look at that right here. We create and we innovate. Our halftime shows, they are the champions. Our fans are young and old, and they can dance to our game. And we give back, inspiring youth with our game.
But they're working on it. Got you. 20 seconds back. I hear you. Here we go. Yep, I hear you. 15. 10. Triplets. 7. 6. 5. 4. First team of 50 wins.
The Big Three on CBS Sports is sponsored by Taco Bell.
Welcome back. We're in Charlotte. 13-4 is our score. A 9-2 run for the Triplets. Taking on the Ball Hogs. Both teams at 4-2. Here's Leandro Barbosa. Driving, laying it in off the glass.
And that's that quickness that, Lisa Leslie talked to Scal about at the beginning. Still probably the fastest player in the league once he gets his head down. And that time able to exploit the defense and get an easy 2 inside. Great play out of the timeout by Coach Rick Barry.
Pargo, he misses. Loose ball by Joe Johnson. He'll shoot the 3. It's too strong. Pargo has it again. Crosses over Meeks, drives, and lays it in.
Right back at you. And that's the strength of Pargo's game right there. Is he's strong upper body, still has the quickness, and right there, even with a little contact beat, he was able to finish that softly off the glass.
Here's Barbosa, the triple. That's strong. Summers with it. Scoring. DeJuan Summers and gives Pargo a little pat on the tushka.
You know what he told him? A little too small, little fella, a little too small.
Here's Pargo. His 3 is no good. Meeks the board. Summers knocks down that jumper. And here comes the Ball Hogs. 15-11 now is our score. Again, first team to 25, we get to the half.
Yeah, I think these two, if you watch these two teams play, probably two of the best that are the most balanced teams, I think, in the league as well. They can beat you from a number of different areas, especially when you have Summers who can shoot the rock from outside.
Meeks got pushed. Hey, get official Big 3 merch at store.big3.com for league and team apparel, including you get jerseys, you can get hats, jackets, get it all. Store.big3.com. Here's Jody Meeks to Summers. Summers to try the triple. No good. Rebound, Joe Johnson. 4-point lead for his triplets. He's going to back Meeks down, turns off the glass, and kisses it home.
And that's the strategy by Lisa Leslie. Listen, instead of trying to go small with the small backcourt of the Ball Hogs, Lisa said, listen, we're going to force them to have to match up with us. Joe can guard on the perimeter, but also can post up smaller guards inside.
Summers continues to fire away for the three. Here's Sanders. Good dish by Joe Johnson. Did they clear it? Didn't clear it.
Now, was it Summers didn't get out of the key? I think Joe Johnson was back behind the line, but I don't think Juwan Summers got outside of the key. And I think Lisa Leslie wants to look at this because he may have been above the free throw line. And I think that's what Lisa is in contention with right now.
Well, Larry Sanders was the one who dunked.
So they are looking at Joe.
Oh, his foot.
His foot, yeah.
You got to clear that ball behind the three-point line.
And his foot has to be cleared off the line in that time. But when he gets back, let's see, right? Now, does his right foot count where the ball is dribbled as a clear? Because right there he clears it, then he goes into his move.
Yeah, I think it's that right foot they're looking at, saying, hey, they want that behind the line as well.
But it's interesting because let's say, what if you catch it off 1 foot behind the line, and then you put the ball down and go into your move and it crosses? Okay.
So they want both feet. It's a violation. $17-11 is the score.
Unsuccessful challenge. Ball Hogs to get the ball side out with the 28-foot line.
And each coach get a challenge in the half. So no points for the triplets. And again, first team to 25, we head to the half. Here's the Ball Hogs inbounding. It's Barbosa. Jody Meeks, third leading scorer in the Big Three. The dish to Summers.
Nice. Nice play. Because Summers hit that screen, but Jody turned it down and went away. That opened it up for a drive, but then when the help came, Summers was available.
Pargo takes it down, fade back, and gets the roll.
Tough B. That's a tough shot. That's where he's good. You know, he's creative inside, maybe smaller stature, but the creativity like we saw in that shot right there.
Barbosa missed that triple. Sanders the board. Here's Pargo. Throws it up to Sanders. And Jody Meeks held him. Here's Joe. Gets the screen. Euro stepping. Joe Johnson. No. Sanders the follow. Yes. Lead is should be 8. Here's Meeks. Shot is no good. Here's Pargo for 3. Yes! 1 more point, and we'll head to the half.
And beautiful ball movement that time. Triplets able to get the rebound and access it really quick, move it around before Ball Hogs were able to recover defensively.
Pargo, first person in double figures. He's got 10, blocked by Sanders. Joe Johnson lays it in, and we head to the half. The Triplets are rolling. Keep in mind, this is a team that only scored 33 points last week, second lowest in Big Three history for a game. But they've got 26 and playing really well. Scal is with Jeremy Pargo, who's got 10.
You know you're a high IQ guy. You know you have to play well for this team to win.
Yeah, that's something I picked up off the first week. And I told you earlier in the season that, you know, I got to help Joe, and we got to help Joe. Larry's playing his butt off right now. I'm just trying to do my part.
Got to stay aggressive. What do you think the ball hogs have in them in the second half?
A lot more energy. A lot more energy. They understand they're down. They know what position we're in right now in terms of next week. So they want to come out here and fight. And I think they're going to do that. We just have to answer the challenge and keep going.
All right, good luck second half.
Jeremy Pargo's got 10 of the Triplets points, and they are rolling on top of the ball hogs. It's game one of the Big Three here on CBS. Well, Toyota proudly returns as the official automotive partner of the Big Three. This season, there's even more excitement now. Through August 19th, enter the Toyota RAV4 Big Three giveaway for a chance to win a 2023 RAV4 Hybrid XSE. To enter or view the official rules, just simply scan that QR code that's right there on your screen, or you can visit Toyota RAV4 Big3Giveaway.com. 26-13 is our score here as the Triplets on top of the ball hogs. Jeremy Pargo, game-high scorer with 10 points. The Triplets had a 9-0 run to end the half.
The energy was different.
Yeah.
In this game here, I think Leslie's theme was like the two halves together. We have to play better in all aspects, and Jeremy Pargo is the one that's doing. He set the tone early, but knocking down an open three-point shot, his ability to get that big body inside and score has been tremendous for the Triplets. And the ancillary players are the ones that help you win basketball games, and that's what he's been able to do.
Scout, talk to me about the first half.
Yeah, I mean, the Ball Hogs lead the Big Three in total assists. They only had a few that time. Like, that's not going to work. They got to get their motion going, and they got to figure out a way to stop Pargo.
Hey, Scal, you understand this from winning the championship and being on championship teams. It's not just a star player. You interview Pargo in regards to that, see a basket inside. About his role in winning the game. It's not just Joe. You've been around that enough.
No, you know, I talked to him about this week too. He said, I have to be aggressive. It's like too much to ask nowadays in the Big Three for one guy to carry the load. And Joe has been able to do it in the past, but I just think the league is so much better. So Pargo recognized that, and he seems to be the type of guy that responds after a bad game, and he did not play well last week.
And to Scal's point, you know, he did have 4 rebounds, 4 assists, but only 9.4, 16 shooting last week in their loss, and already up to 12 points. So making the impact early. Yeah. And again, Lisa Leslie talked about this, 2 halves. We saw an outstanding half by the Triplets in the first. Now, can they duplicate that effort knowing that the Ball Hogs are going to bear in a little bit more?
Trying to change things up. Jeff Ayers has checked in for the Ball Hogs, seeing his first action of the game. Sets the screen for Jody Meeks. Meeks turns the corner, kicks it right back out. And bucket's good by Jalen Johnson.
Well, not only Ayers in the game, but Johnson. So what's happening, Rick Barry is going with a bigger lineup. To Lisa Leslie's point, force teams to have to match up with our size. We're not going in reverse, and that's what happened right now in this opening of the second half, and let's see how that pays off.
Here's Jalen Johnson.
Well, very similar to what DeJuan Summers was able to do in the first half against Leandra Bobosa or Jody Meeks inside. Utilize the mismatch, get 2 feet in the paint, and then you're able to score.
Here's Jody. He'll pull it from deep. Ayers and Sanders battling for it. They say they went off on Sanders, so I'll stay with the Ball Hogs. Meeks, screen, turns the corner.
Travel.
And he traveled.
Yeah, that's good defense by Sanders. Sanders able to beat him to the spot and get there.
Here's Joe Johnson. Pargo. This shot no good. Well, tomorrow on CBS, the Big Brother multiverse has been unleashed and the worlds are colliding around the new house guests. What a new twist they'll face next. Find out, new Big Brother tomorrow on CBS and streaming on Paramount+. Meeks a firing. Sanders the board. Here's Joe Johnson, the triple. Yes, nothing but net.
Along the rebound by Sanders inside, the quick outlet to Joe identified where the three-point line was at. Second time, Triplets have been able to take advantage of a quick outlet pass to get an easy look at it behind the three-point line.
They've got some issues with the shot clock here. They're trying to take care of that, so they'll get a little break in the action.
Hey, Jimmy.
What's up?
So I don't know if this is true, but last week Joe Johnson struggled against killer threes and the size. Right now, Rick Barry goes big, and it just seems like Joe Johnson doesn't want to go one-on-one against some of these guys in the post. Doesn't mean he can't flare out, get his space, but I've watched Joe in this league from day one. I've never recognized, like, I don't want to call it a weakness, but something that he doesn't like to go to. But it seems like size on Joe Johnson has been working at least last week and so far this half.
I think what it is, too, when he plays against a smaller opponent, he doesn't have to work as hard to get to his spot. So from a conserving energy perspective, think about this. He has to work so much harder against a like-size opponent. I think he would take him out a little bit more, maybe catch him on the move off the dribble and beat them that way instead of trying to post him up.
We're going to take a 30-second break. Right now, it's the Triplets. Up 12 over the Ball Hogs. Point lead for the Triplets. Lisa Leslie and her squad up over the Ball Hogs. Ball Hogs will be inbounding as Jody Meeks. Both teams at 4-2. And here's Meeks. Good dish to Ayers, and he lays it in.
Another pick and roll right in the middle of the court. That time Ayers able to create some space inside, but it was all created by Meeks, able to turn the corner. Again, Jody Meeks is not Brian, just a shooter. He's demonstrated his ability to go off the dribble and beat you.
They give the offensive foul on Pargo. Then he pushed off.
Jody turns down the pick and roll again, but this time because Sanders has to help just a little bit, takes the body off of Ayers and Meeks makes the right play. Here's some substitutions right here by Lisa Leslie, Mario Moon, and
Gennaro Pargo, Jeremy's brother.
Yeah, coming in the game.
Gennaro now one of the assistant coaches with the Indiana Pacers. Here's Meeks, step back three, rolls off. They're gonna call that one on Joe Johnson. Jalen Johnson will inbound. Getting first team to 50 wins this game. You got to win by 2 though in the big 3. Johnson, the triple is too strong. Moon snags the board and shoots the 3, and it's good. Jamario Moon. 32-19. Triplets, Ball Hogs, trying to become the first team to hit 5 wins. Oh, yeah. Meeks Johnson lays it in.
All the little things, the ball is bouncing, the plays, the rebounds. Because of the energy, I think, created by the Triplets, are falling right into their hands to get some easier baskets. Hence,
Joe Johnson's got 11 now, Jim.
Yeah. But it's not, but I think, you know, Scout made a great point, and also Jeremy Pargo. We don't have to put it on Joe. We got to provide assistance down. It makes it a lot easier for Joe to do his thing.
That's a good point, because as they only had 33 points last week, Joe Johnson, the only guy who had double figures.
Yeah, he had 18 of those 33.
Yeah.
You know, so that left 15 on the board for the rest of his crew to score. And that's a lot of work, you know, in this league that has continued to get better. But, hey, Scout, to your point right there, guess who was on Joe Johnson that time? Jody Meeks, a little bit smaller opponent, able to easily score over the top.
36-19 our score now. Here's Meeks. No. Johnson grabs the board. There's a foul by Jamario Moon. And I think Lisa Leslie is going to use that Taco Bell, bring the fire.
But this is trust you, because Jody has obviously the foot speed on Jamario Moon. So Moon has to utilize his length and size and kind of guide Jody Meeks where he needs to be in order to use that and force him to take a tough shot.
Here's the deal. You don't like a call, a shooting foul, you can challenge it with Bring the Fire by Taco Bell. And that means Jody Meeks now has got to go one-on-one against Jamario Moon. He scores it, he gets the points. Moon and the defense, they come up with a stop, they get the basketball. Here we go. Meeks, sidestep, jumper, no good.
And normally you don't want to shade a player, but this time Jamario Moore shaded. Look how much ground he's giving to Jody Meeks to go left. Okay, now he forces Meeks to pull up for a tough jump shot over a contested outstanding defense that time by Moon.
Pargo left wide open, and he knocks it down. Man, the Triplets are rolling 8 points away from victory. They're on top of the Ball Hogs. Big, it's the Big Three here on CBS.
The Big Three on CBS Sports is sponsored by Prize Picks. Daily fantasy made easy.
Hey, make sure you follow Big Three Basketball across all social media platforms. You can get on IG, X, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all that. You can follow Jim Jackson as well, Brian Custer as well, all in all those social media forms. Hey, it's time for the Prize Picks entry of the day. Let's take a look at two of the most popular projections from today's second game. And, you got to go with Earl Clark and Mike Taylor. Mike Taylor is a bucket getter. And download the Prize Pick app to play along with the official daily fantasy partner of the Big Three. What's up, Scout?
Hey, I know you were on all those social media platforms in that weight room this morning.
Yeah, absolutely.
You weren't getting any sets in.
Hey, Scal, was he there looking at the weights?
Yep. He was doing send. Check out all the big 3 platforms.
Me and Scal were in there. Oh my God! Yeah, Jim, what were you?
Not there, obviously.
That 3 is good. 39-22 is the score. Here's your Mario Moon, knocked down his last 3. Ayers with the board. Meeks coming through. And Johnson for 4, yes! Jalen Johnson with a 4-pointer.
Okay, so finding a little life, but let's give a little love to the Triplets too, because they've done an outstanding job up to this point on Jody Meeks, who only has 5 points. Keep in mind, last 3 weeks he's averaged 20 points, so the defensive emphasis to make it tough on Meeks has worked up to this point.
Oh, near turnover, and it is a turnover, and Joe Johnson lays it in. ISO Joe now with 19.
And those costly turnovers, those mistakes, either off an air ball or a turnover, close to the basket, allows your opponent to get an easy layup. Another one for Triplets. There has to be 2 or 3 opportunities for them on costly mistakes by the Ball Hogs.
Ball Hogs are going to call a timeout here. Talk about some things. We'll take a 30-second break. It's the Big 3 here on CBS. Welcome back. 41-26 is our score. Time for the Microsoft Player of the Week, sponsored by Microsoft. It's got to go to Ryan Carter, a.k.a. the Hezzy Guy. Folks, he put up 35 points in the game victory last week. That is a Big 3 record, eclipsing what Joe Johnson did a few years back when he put up 34.
Yeah, and the homecoming for Ryan Carter, so the timing couldn't be more perfect in regards to the Player of the Week now coming home.
That shot is good. 41-28 now our score.
Well, it's all about getting stops now for the ball. Triplets found their rhythm offensively to get back in this game. You can score the ball, but if Triplets are scoring 2, that's a negative situation.
Joe Johnson working on Jody Meeks, goes to him. Summers for 3. Pargo has it now. Drives, and it's the layup. Here's Pargo from the corner. That's short. Johnson working on Ayers. His jumper, no good. Moon taps it out to Pargo. New shot clock, new possession. Shot clock now at 5. Pargo, left hand, high, no. And Ayers gets knocked to the floor. That's a foul on the Triplets.
Juwan, some of that's good defense in space with a quicker Jeremy Pargo.
Here's Leandro Barboza. High off the glass, the Brazilian blur. 41-30 our score. Again, first team to 50 is a winner. You got to win by 2. Both teams 4-2. Joe spins, kicks it out. Ball movement. Pargo Oh, I was going to say book it.
You were ready. You had it coming out already. But that's excellent ball movement by the Triplets.
Ayers, yes, muscles that one in. 41-32 our score. We got a timeout on the floor. We'll take a timeout as well. It's the Big Three. 41-32 is our score. We're in Charlotte. Listen, the Big Three season is headed towards really a fantastic finish. You can still grab seats at our upcoming stops. Next week, we're in Detroit. What up, though? Washington, D.C. And, of course, the All-Star Game. The championship is in London. Go to big3.com/tickets for all the details. Here's Pargo to Joe Johnson. Summers guarding him. The kick out to Pargo with two, with one on his shot. Got it! Jeremy Pargo. 11-point lead. That one too hot for Summers.
Yeah.
How about Pargo?
Well, able to get to a spot this time. Again, Summers good in space. Pargo able to create just enough space to get that shot up and over the top.
Here's Pargo for three. That's no good. Ayers snags the board. Pargo pulled the chair on him. Stolen by Moon, who lays it in. And now 5 points away from victory is the Triplets.
Yeah, those little timely and costly turnovers are providing the Triplets with some easy baskets, in particular late in this game, to finish it off.
Here's Barbosa. Rejected by Jamario Moon.
I tell you, this Triplets team has done an outstanding job. I know Barbosa had some quick moves to the basket, but for the most part, been able to contain the backcourt of the Ball Hogs, which is their strength, by the Triplets. Yeah, Jamario Moon able to play in space right there, and Barbosa not able to utilize that quickness to get by him.
So Jody Meeks will go to the line, shooting one free throw for 2 points. And he rattles in. Lead is 11.
1-2 now. In the penalty situation for the Ball Hogs, meaning that six fouls by Triplets. When you make the free throw, you retain possession. Couldn't take advantage of it right there by the Ball Hogs.
Joe Johnson splash from the corner. Triplets now 2 points away from victory. Meeks for four. No good. Joe Johnson to Moon for the game and lays it in. Jamario Moon. And the Triplets with the best record right now in the league at 5-2 get the victory. And I tell you what, they flipped the script from what we saw from them last week.
This was a Triplets that we knew could play. I mean, they stayed with it, they were consistent, they made the shots when they were open. Defensively, I thought they were even more fantastic on shutting down the backcourt of the Ball Hogs. Joe Johnson did his things, but it was Pargo kind of filling in, Jamario Moon making some big-time shots. Outstanding team effort, bounced back by the Triplets.
Joe Johnson had 18. He's with Brian Scalabrine.
Got a little help today.
Yeah, it's always good that way. When we win, you know, with a good team effort, everybody's chipping in. We're going to be a tough team to beat, so we got to keep it going.
How much do you talk about that with your team? Because it does seem like when everyone's aggressive, you guys seem like one of the best teams in the league.
Because it makes us hard to guard when we do that. So, you know, I tell Jeremy, keep attacking, keep being aggressive. Moon keep being aggressive. Larry's been the catalyst of our defense, getting rebounds, key stops, and we just making timely shots, man. It's been great.
Last week you did a little spin, some yoga. What you got this week? I know you're doing great things in the community, giving back.
Okay, I drove here from Atlanta, so we did yoga yesterday. We didn't get a chance to do it today, but next week in Detroit, be ready.
All right, I will.
Man.
You got it. Guys, send it back to you.
All right, Joe Johnson. Here's a look at the shot of the game. It is presented by Hyundai. Jamario Moon laying it in, and that's the game winner as the Triplets now at 5-2. Best record right now in the Big Three as we take a look at the standings. Hey, Muggsy Bogues sitting courtside. Triplets now, only team at 5-2, and we've got 6 other squads. They're bunched up at 4-2, and then a couple of teams at 2-4. Once again, our final score: the Triplets victorious, 51-41 with the victory. We got Trilogy, the Ghost Ballers. They're coming up next. It's the Big Three here in Charlotte.